Yo, what's up? Yes, it's been a while, but this time I've actually been working. I have managed to read, in this time I was gone, 3 books, out of which one is today's book review, 400 Days by Chetan Bhagat. So let's dive right into it. Today we're going to be going over this book by Chetan Bhagat called 400 Days. Now you might wonder, why did I choose Chetan Bhagat? Well, it's simple. Chetan Bhagat's books sell like hotcakes. Whether you like him, you dislike him, there's a frenzy every time he releases each of his books. You like him, you dislike him, doesn't matter, you just can't ignore him. And when there's high demand for a book, comes high demand for its review. So here I am to give the review. You know, the way I said that felt like I was just born just to do this book review. Nevertheless, let's begin with his writing style. He's used the easiest writing style you could ever possibly imagine. You do not need a dictionary or any form of reference for words while you're reading this book. Even if you know basic English, you can read this book and actually enjoy it and enjoy the entire story. So it's pretty cool if you're a first-time reader or something. The narrative is fast-paced and there's not a single dull moment except for a few key weird things that happen which could have been avoided. The entire thing flows smoothly. Now we move on to the storyline. A young 12-year-old girl is kidnapped from her grandparents' house in Gurgaon. Her grandparents live together with their entire joint family and they are rich and high profile. The case is taken to the police, who do a horribly bad job of actually working on this case and then eventually release it to the media, and then the media as always messes up everything by passing judgment, which just mentally affects the entire family, and they are more worried about their profile in society, their image in society, and that leads to the police shutting down the case, throwing the blame onto the family and declaring the girl dead. But the girl's mother just cannot give up, so she goes to private detectives Saurabh and Keshav to help her solve the case. Now the mother, Alia Arora, is quote-unquote drop dead gorgeous, using the author's own words, and Keshav falls in love with her and puts his best efforts into trying to find her daughter, even though the police consider it a cold case. Characterization. Straight up, I'm saying it, none of these characters are rememberable. Like, I've read so many books and so many of those characters have stuck with me. None of these characters are particularly great. All of the characters are very cliched. They are the in-laws who are loud and fond of eating and drinking. The plot falls weak in so many places because you are left thinking of so many coincidences. Like, how did this happen? That's just by chance. A cliched mother-in-law who does not like her daughter-in-law and leads to a lot of arguments, which is another big path trodden by Chetan Bhagat, and the fact that the actual son of the mother-in-law is unable to defend his wife and stand up to his mother. The police are not represented in some sort of different way either. They're not interested in doing their job, do a shoddy job of the case, and end up throwing the blame onto the family, which tarnishes their image in society. They just close it in a hurry, and the heroine of this book is really cliched too. With her hazel green eyes and head full of luscious brown hair, she's what you would just basically describe when you think of drop dead gorgeous. As for the detectives, Saurabh and Keshav, they are a little better off due to their characterization in the previous books. All in all, there's not a character that you would remember after you put down the book. The characterization is a little too shallow, and none of these characters stick with you throughout your life. Now for the plot. Even though it is portrayed as some mystery and adventurous story, it is basically more of a Bollywood movie. There's the standard daughter-in-law, mother-in-law drama, and there's an extramarital love affair, which I felt could have been avoided, and I'm not going to comment on at all. No, I'm not going to say anything about that. But nevertheless, I cannot ignore the point that it does nothing for the plot development, and the mystery could have continued on without that entire thing. I mean, there's even a part in the book where he's just trying to forcibly bring it in through a little trip to Kochi, which really didn't make any sense to me, at least. But again, I'm not saying anything about it at all. Perhaps it has been added for the readers who actually love this kind of romance drama. So Chetan Bhagat is just trying to pull in all types of readers from all different genres and pack it into one book. Storyline is pretty linear. There are no like great excitement curves or anything, and if you read a lot of mystery, you will just be able to guess the culprit earlier on in the book. Chetan Bhagat has though added lots of sarcasm and humor in parts of this book, which makes it very light-hearted, and it's a cool read for you to just grab anytime. Now for the takeaway. I don't know what you can take away from this book, but there are a few key points that stand out immediately. I mean, you can't take more away from this book than you can take away from typical Bollywood movies, but here we go. One is the trial by media, and nowadays media doesn't stand for news channels on your regular cable television. No, media stands for Facebook, Telegram, Instagram, all these different social media sites which just mess everything up. In this book, they are quick to pass judgment without caring about the mental state of all the people who are involved. They don't care. They'll pass judgment thinking that they are the center of society, the center of attention. That was a good point that was brought up in this book. And this book made that very, very clear, because how can some random online guy think that he or she can relate to what I'm going through and pass judgment on that? What? It also gives a peek into internet usage by teens and leads to the debate to how much internet should be given to teens and how much access to mobile phones, etc. should be given to teens. Again, that's not something I would comment on, and I really don't want to get into that controversy since I'm making videos and uploading it to YouTube. But again, really cool point in this book, and the way it was portrayed in this actually made me feel terrified. Like, wait, that can actually happen any day. Because it warns children and parents that there can be lots of dangers lurking behind smiling, happy profile pictures. Until you haven't seen a person or spoken to them, you can never be sure what their true intentions are. Especially online, that's just painful. One thing is for certain, you can definitely wait for the Bollywood movie adaptation to come out, because this book has everything that a Bollywood movie could ask for, like ever. Now, do I recommend this book to all of you out there? First of all, to anyone under the age of 16, absolutely, definitely not. Please do not buy this book if you're below that. First of all, there's just that age criteria, and there are lots of scenes in this book which are just not meant for children below 16. Or people, not necessarily children. Grown-ups can read this book. The fans of Chetan Bhagat who are used to this style of writing and really like his previous works, it's a big yes, go in for this book. You will actually enjoy it. I did like it. It wasn't bad. But if you're a fan of mystery and you've read all sorts of works from these writers, I would say you should avoid this, because this will come as a disappointment. If you are a beginner and you want something to read, a light read, but you can't find anything, this is a great book to go for, because it's a really good first time read and you'll actually enjoy it without having to understand too many words or grab a dictionary around with you. Though it does have 344 pages with a relatively small font, so it might take you a little longer to finish than other books. Climax is nothing great. I mean, like, it's not good, it's not bad. You can guess it at some point before if you have experience with reading these sort of stories. I personally got to know it a little bit before it actually dropped, but I was like, okay, that's a reasonable point in the story to throw a guess out there so you can understand. Overall, this book is a really great entertainer, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to read a light novel. Though if I had to rate this, I would rate it a 7 out of 10, because there were key points which I mentioned in this video that didn't stick around for particularly me. Now, let me just get this out of the way. I'm not saying that I like or dislike Chetan Bhagat, because saying either one of them in today's world can get me cancelled. Like, imagine if I go, man, his works are pathetic, you know how bad he writes? Or if I went, it's amazing and all the other authors who have ever written anything are horrible. Either way, that's on two sides of the extreme, and I shouldn't say any of them. So in my opinion, it was a really good book, and I didn't find it like greater than all the other mystery novels I read. But if you're looking from a drama, fun kind of point of view, so this is a great book to go for, because the main characters, Saurabh and Keshav, feel like such cool guys. I would actually hang out with them in real life. Hopefully they'd like to hang out with me too. That's okay, yeah. Overall, that was my view and my verdict on this book. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and you can go and get this book from the link in the description down below. Since you've stuck around till the end, I would really love if you would subscribe, and thank you so much for watching this video. You know what, the book really wasn't that great.